Hi, Scorpio. Welcome back to Moonveil Tarot. And if you're new here, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Okay, let's get into your reading, Scorpio. They thought they knew you. They had a version of you in their head, the surface version, the one most people get, and then something happened. A conversation, a moment. Something you did or said or showed, and the version they had just completely fell apart because the real you showed up. And the real you is so much more than the version they've been carrying around. And now they're stunned, genuinely. The kind of stunned where you go quiet because you don't have words yet for what you just realized. And what they realized is that the person they thought was one thing is actually something entirely different, deeper, more interesting, more layered, more real than they were ready for. And the stunned feeling they're sitting with right now is not a bad thing. It's the feeling of someone who just found out they had no idea what they were actually dealing with, and what they were dealing with was you, the real you, all of you, and it changed something in them that's not going back. Drop a comment right now and say, I claim this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and turn on that notification bell. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, first oracle card. They had a version of you and the real you just made it obsolete. And your guides led with this because it's the root of everything. Because everyone builds a version of the people in their life, a working model based on what they've seen so far. And this person had one of you, and it was probably fine, maybe even flattering in some ways, but it was incomplete. It was built on the parts you'd shown. The surface parts, the version you give before someone really earns the rest. And then they got the rest, or a piece of it. Something real, something deep, something that didn't fit the version they had. And when the real thing doesn't fit the version, when what someone actually is contradicts what you thought they were, the version doesn't update, it collapses. And the version they had of you just collapsed completely because the real you made it obsolete. Okay, second oracle card. What stunned them is that you're deeper than they expected and they weren't prepared for depth like yours. And this is what specifically got them. Not just that there was more to you, but the kind of more. Because more can be lots of things. More complicated, more difficult, more than they bargained for. And that's not what this is. What stunned them is that you're deeper than they expected. And depth like yours, the kind that comes from actually having lived, from having felt things fully, from having a relationship with your own interior that most people don't, is rare, and they weren't prepared for it. Because most people move through the world at a certain surface level, and encountering someone who doesn't, someone who carries real depth, who thinks and feels at a different register entirely, is genuinely surprising. And it surprised them in the most beautiful, disorienting, you need a minute to absorb this way. Okay, third oracle card. They're recalibrating everything they thought they understood about you. And right now, this is what's happening for them. They're going back through everything, every interaction they've had with you, every conversation, every moment they observed you, and they're looking at all of it through the new lens, the one that knows the real you now. And things that didn't quite add up before are adding up now. Things that seemed like one thing are revealing themselves to be something else. And the recalibrating is not a small process, because when you fundamentally change how you understand someone, it affects how you understand every memory you have of them. And they're going through every memory of you with a completely new understanding of who you actually are. And what they're finding is that every memory is richer than they thought it was. Okay, fourth oracle card. What they found out made them want to know more. They're not done discovering you. And here's what the stunning did. It made them hungry. Because when you find out someone is deeper than you thought, the natural response is not to step back. It's to lean in, to want more, to feel that specific pull of there's more there. And I want to find it. And that's where they are. They got a glimpse of the real you, and the glimpse was enough to make them desperate for the whole picture. Because the real you is interesting in the way that can't be satisfied with a glimpse. And now they're carrying that want, the want to know you, the real you, all the way down. And they're not going to let it go. Because people who have found out there's something real in someone don't stop looking until they've found all of it. Okay, fifth oracle card. The real you is the most attractive version of you, and they finally got to see it. And your guides saved this for last in the oracle cards because they want you to really hear it. The real you, not the surface version, not the managed version, not the version you put forward when you're not sure if someone can handle the whole thing. The real you is the most attractive version of you. And for a lot of people, that's a hard thing to believe. Because somewhere along the way, most of us learn to manage ourselves down a little, to not be too much, to not show too much, to give people the easier version and keep the real version for the people who've earned it. And this person just got the real version or a piece of it. And what happened is exactly what your guides want you to know will always happen when the real you comes out. People aren't scared off, they're stunned, and they want more because the real you is the best version of you. The High Priestess, the Lovers, the Moon reversed, the Star, the Knight of Cups, the Two of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the World. Okay, look at these cards. This is a genuinely stunning spread. The High Priestess first, and this is you. And the High Priestess is perfect here because she is the card of depth, of mystery, of the person who knows more than they show, who carries something real and quiet underneath the surface. And the High Priestess being your card explains exactly why they were stunned. Because High Priestess energy doesn't announce itself. It doesn't perform or show off or put everything on the surface. It waits. It reveals slowly to the people who are paying the right kind of attention. And this person started paying that kind of attention and got their first real glimpse of what's underneath. And High Priestess depth is the most stunning kind because it's real, not constructed, not performed. Just the genuine depth of someone who has a whole interior world. And the Lovers is the soul recognition that the revealing produced. Because something happened when they found out who you really are. The Lovers' recognition clicked in. Suddenly, they weren't just looking at someone they knew, they were looking at someone they recognized at a different level, the this person level, the oh, there you are level. And the Lovers showing up right after the High Priestess is the cards telling you that the real you revealing itself is what produced the recognition, because you can't recognize someone at the lover's level until you've seen the real them. And they finally saw the real you, and the recognition arrived immediately after. And the moon reversed. And this one is so meaningful because the moon reversed is the hidden things coming to the surface. And in this reading, it's working in both directions. The real you coming to the surface, the depth, the layers, the real version, and also them, because being stunned by someone, finding out who they really are, seeing the real version and having it produce the lover's recognition, that does something to a person. It brings things to their surface too. Feelings they maybe didn't know they had, things they'd been keeping inside. And the moon reversed in this reading is both of you surfacing at once. You showing the real you, and them discovering things in themselves in response to it. The real you coming out made real things come out in them too. And the star is what this person feels when the stunning settles into something steadier. Because stun is the first reaction, the immediate, I wasn't ready for this reaction. And after it settles, what remains is the star. Hope. Genuine hope about you, about what this could be, about what it means that you turned out to be who you really are. And the star being in this spread tells me the stun is giving way to something beautiful, the specific, warm, quietly glowing hope of someone who just found out that the person they're interested in is even more than they'd hoped for. And that hope has your name on it. And the Knight of Cups, is them coming toward you because of it. Because finding out who someone really is at the real level and having it produce the lover's recognition and the star hope, that doesn't just sit still, it moves. And the Knight moves toward the person he's drawn to, heart first, without waiting to see if it's convenient. And the Knight being here tells me that what they found out about you is going to produce action. They're going to come toward you. Reach out, show up, do something about the want that the real you produced in them. Because the real you is worth coming toward. And they know that now. And the Two of Cups is the confirmation that this is mutual, because the real you revealing itself and producing the lover's recognition in them doesn't happen in a vacuum. The Two of Cups is two people both feeling it, both drawn toward each other. And the Two of Cups appearing here is the cards telling you that what they found out about you lands in a space where there's something real on your side too. And two real things meeting is the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups is what all of this is building toward. And the Ace of Cups, is the feeling overflowing. Because finding out who someone really is, at the depth this person found out, and having it be even better than you expected, fills the cup completely. And the Ace of Cups is the full overflowing cup of feeling that this revelation produced in them. And it's not a thin surface feeling. It's the full version, because the full version of you produced the full version of the feeling, and a full cup overflows. And the overflow is heading toward you and the world. And the world is the closing of the old chapter and the opening of the new one. Because before they found out who you really are, there was a version of the dynamic between you, a surface level version, a version built on incomplete information. And the world is that version completing, not ending badly, but completing naturally, the way a chapter completes when the story is ready to go somewhere deeper. And the deeper version of your dynamic starts now, built on the real you, built on what they found out, built on something that's genuine all the way through. Okay, tea leaf cards, 7 of them. First tea leaf card, the specific moment the real you came out and the look on their face, because there was a moment, a specific one, where the real you showed up, a thought you shared, a way you handled something, a piece of your actual interior world that surfaced, and they saw it, and the look on their face in that moment was the stun happening in real time. Something shifting behind their eyes, a pause, a quality of attention that changed. And you might have seen that look and wondered what it meant. And now you know. It meant they just found out that the version they had of you just got upgraded to the real thing, and the real thing was more than they knew how to handle in that moment. Next tea leaf card, them going quiet afterward, sitting with what they just found out, and after that moment, after the real you came out and the look happened, they went quiet. And you might have wondered about that quiet. If it meant something bad, if you'd said too much, shown too much, given them more than they were ready for. And your guides want to correct that. The quiet was not discomfort with you. The quiet was processing the specific silence of someone who has just received something significant and needs a minute to actually absorb it. And significant things require silence. You can't rush the absorption of something real. And they went quiet because they needed the quiet to begin to understand what you just gave them by letting them see you. Next tea leaf card, them thinking about you differently now. Everything filtered through the new understanding, and this is what's happening in them right now. Everything is filtered differently. Every memory of you, every previous interaction, they're going through all of it with new eyes. And things that were one thing before are meaning something different now. A comment you made months ago that they didn't fully understand then makes complete sense now. A choice you made that seemed simple is showing its real complexity. The full picture of who you are is making every previous piece of you make more sense. And the effect of that, of everything clicking into place, is that they're not just thinking about you, they're thinking about you completely differently. And completely differently is so much better. Next tea leaf card, them wanting to ask you things they've never asked before. And watch for this, because the finding out produced questions, specific ones, things they never thought to ask before, because they didn't know there was more to find. And now they know there's more, and they want to find it. They're carrying a list of things they want to know about you, not interrogating, not demanding, genuinely wanting to understand, wanting the full picture, wanting to keep discovering who you actually are beneath the surface version they used to have. And those questions are going to start coming out in conversations that go deeper than before, in them reaching out in a different way, in an interest in you that has a completely different quality to it. Now, next tea leaf card, The stun giving way to something warmer, they're settling into what they found out because the stun doesn't last forever. And this is the beautiful part. After the stunning, after the quiet and the recalibrating and the going back through everything, it settles into something warmer, the star energy, the hope, the specific warmth of someone who found out something wonderful about a person they already cared about and is now settling into that knowing. And the warmth that settles is so much more comfortable than the stun, because stun is disorienting and warmth is settled. And what they're settling into is an understanding of who you really are that feels good to have, that feels like something to hold, that feels like a gift they're not going to take for granted. Next tea leaf card, them telling someone about what they found out because they can't hold it alone, and it's getting too big to carry alone. Because when you find out someone is who you've just found out this person is, you want to tell someone. You want a witness to the finding out, and they're probably already doing it, or about to, telling someone they trust about what they discovered about you, about the real you that showed up, about the stun and the warmth and the way they can't stop thinking about you differently now. And the telling someone is the finding out becoming undeniable. Because once you put it into words for someone else, it becomes more real, more significant, more impossible to brush off. And once it's that real and that significant, it tends to produce action. And the last tea leaf card, you understanding that the real you is safe to show, it draws people in, it doesn't push them away. And your guides ended here because this is the lesson they most want you to leave with. The real you is safe to show. I know that's not always how it's felt, because somewhere along the way, most of us learned to be careful with the real version, to protect it, to keep it back until someone's earned it, to worry that it's too much or too complicated or too real for most people. And your guides are showing you today what actually happens when the real you comes out. People don't pull back, they lean in. They get stunned and then they recalibrate and then they want more. And the lesson is the real you draws people in. It always has. And every time you let it show, this is what happens. Okay, final messages from your guides, 7 of them. Let more of the real you out. The effect it has is always worth it. And your guides want this to be the thing that changes something going forward. Let more of the real you out, not just with this person, with everyone who's earned it. Because the effect the real you has is always worth it. Always. The stunned look, the going quiet, the recalibrating, the they can't stop thinking about you differently. All of that is the effect of you being real. And the real you is so much better than the managed version in every way that matters. So let more of it out. Let more people encounter what this person just encountered. Because what they found out about you is not the exception. It's you. Next final card. Depth is not a flaw. It's the exact thing that makes you impossible to forget. And this is something your guides want you to actually believe about yourself, because depth can feel like a flaw. You might have been told at some point that you're too much, too intense, too deep for casual. And those were the wrong people saying the wrong thing. Because depth is not a flaw. It's the exact thing that makes you impossible to forget. Because surface things are forgettable. Easy come, easy go. And depth stays. It lodges in people. It makes them think about you when you're not there. It makes them recalibrate, replay, want more. And this person is sitting with exactly that right now. The evidence of your depth having completely taken over their head. Next, final card. The stun they feel is respect. They see you more clearly now, and they respect what they see. And I want to name what the stun actually is, because I think it matters. The stun they feel is not overwhelm in the negative sense. It's not too much or too complicated or this is more than I wanted. It's respect. The specific kind of respect you feel when you encounter someone who turns out to be operating at a level you didn't realize they were operating at. And that respect changes how they see you permanently. Because once you see someone clearly, the real version, you can't go back to seeing them as less, and they now see you clearly. And what they see is someone who deserves every bit of the respect the stun produced. Next final card. Stay yourself. The discovering is just beginning and each layer is going to go deeper, and your guides have guidance for what happens next. Stay yourself because this is just the beginning of the discovering. They found out one layer of the real you, and it stunned them. And there are more layers, and each one is going to go deeper. And the temptation might be to pull back now, to worry you showed too much, to manage yourself back down to something safer. And your guides are saying, don't, stay yourself. Let the next layer come when it's ready. Because what they found out made them want more, not less. And more is what the real you has to give. In layers, slowly, each one richer than the last. Next, final card. What they found out is going to make them show up differently. Watch for the shift and watch how they show up from here, because it's going to be different, more present, more attentive, asking questions they didn't ask before, making more effort, showing up with the specific energy of someone who knows they're dealing with something worth showing up for. And the shift might be subtle at first, something in the quality of how they communicate, something in how they make eye contact, something in the effort they bring. And all of it traces back to the finding out, to that moment when the real you showed up and changed everything about how they see you. Next, final card. Save this and drop a comment. Tell me what came out that stunned them. Save this reading right now. Bookmark it, share it today, because when you share something like this, what comes back is tenfold. And drop a comment and tell me, what do you think it was? What came out that stunned them? Was it something you said? Something you showed them about yourself? The way you handled something? Because I want to know. And honestly, someone watching this right now has been holding back the real version of themselves with someone they care about, scared to show it, wondering if it's too much. And your comment telling them that the real you came out and it didn't push them away, it stunned them into wanting more, is the thing that helps them finally let their real self show. And the very last card, they found out who you really are, and they're stunned because you are so much more than they had any idea. They found out who you really are, and they're stunned because you are so much more than they had any idea. And your guides saved this for last because it's the whole reading in one sentence. Every card that came through, the High Priestess depth, the Lover's recognition, the Moon reversed surfacing, the Star hope, the Knight coming toward you, the Two of Cups mutual, the Ace of Cups overflowing, the World turning the page. All of it is the result of one thing. The real you showed up. And the real you is so much more than what anyone gets on the surface, deeper than they expected, richer than the version they had, more real than they were prepared for. And finding out produced the stun. And the stun is giving way to recognition and hope, and the Knight coming toward you, and the Two of Cups waiting. And it all happened because the real you came out. So let that keep happening. Let more people find out who you really are. Because every single time, this is what happens. The stun, the recalibrating, the wanting more, and the slow, beautiful dawning that what they're dealing with is someone they had no idea was this extraordinary. Okay. To bring this home, they just found out who you really are, and they're stunned because you are so much more than they had any idea. And the cards showed us everything. Your guides told us that they had a version of you and the real you just made it obsolete. That what stunned them is your depth, and they weren't prepared for depth like yours. That they're recalibrating everything they thought they understood about you. That what they found out made them want to know more, they're not done discovering you, and that the real you is the most attractive version of you, and they finally got to see it. The High Priestess was you, the depth, the mystery, the real interior world that doesn't show itself to everyone. The Lovers showed the soul recognition that the revealing produced. The Moon reversed showed both of you surfacing at once. The Star showed the hope that settled in after the stun. The Knight of Cups showed them coming toward you because of it. The Two of Cups confirmed it's mutual. The Ace of Cups showed the full feeling overflowing, and the World showed the old surface level dynamic completing and something deeper beginning. And the tea leaves showed the specific moment the real you came out, and the look on their face, them going quiet to process what they found, them thinking about everything differently through the new lens, them wanting to ask things they've never asked, the stun giving way to warmth, them telling someone because it's too big to hold alone, and you understanding that the real you is safe to show because it draws people in, it doesn't push them away. Let more of the real you out. The effect is always worth it. Depth is not a flaw. It's what makes you impossible to forget. The stun is respect, and they see you clearly now. Stay yourself. The discovering is just beginning, and watch how they show up differently from here. All of it confirming they found out who you really are. And they're stunned because you are so much more than they had any idea. Claim this, loves. Drop a comment and say, I claim this, and the real me is extraordinary, and I let more of it show, because every word of that is true. Save this, share it today, and drop a comment and tell me what came out that stunned them. I want to know. If this resonated, please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment, and tell me what hit hardest. And if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe and turn on that notification bell. Take care of yourself. Bye, loves.